Hi, I am James and this is Spooks Tools Restoration, part 3 of 8 rusty old tools my father gave me and I'm willing to restore. Part 3, we're moving on to the wrenches. Well, we've got 2 rusty jammed ratchets here. One is, I think, Jedoffi, really make that out. And this one is made by Gordon Tools, made in Sheffield. But they are completely jammed shut. There may be things stuck inside them. This one I can take apart. There's a little screw there. Take that out. That's the roller out. A bit of leverage. We'll start by cleaning off with a toothbrush. Right, instead of wire wool, we're going to use a wire brush on this. I think this wire brush is knackered. I've done some sort of work on here. I can make out the name now. G-Door. We got a number 91 10-inch. Made in Germany. So we'll finish that off with some wire wool. There's still a lot of pitting and rusting on here, so we're going to put it together and pop it in some acid overnight. 24 hours later, I'm not sure lemon juice does the same job as vinegar. There's a line there, it looks cleaner. We'll give it a going over with a drill and a wire brush attachment. We can clearly see the difference between acid-bathed spanner and non-acid-bathed spanner, so I guess we stick it back in. Before we put it back together, we're going to make sure everything's running smoothly. And you notice it catches a bit. So we're just going to remove the gunk inside the chamber by hammering down and pressing it this way and alternatively this way. So it chisels away any detritus inside. It's relatively free running. Now we want to grease the monkey. For this I'm using some general machine grease. So spread that all over the inner workings. You could just use a spray or WD-40. When you're fitting it back together, you want the jaw halfway and to make sure the ridge inside the screw adjustment is facing upwards. There's no ridge in the other side, otherwise your spanner will jam. I'll screw this tightly so it's right up to the hilt. It seems to be working perfectly. Now I just got to cover it with some boiled linseed oil just to make it look pretty and protect it. Okay, back to this monkey wrench. It's obviously stuck somewhere. I was wondering if there were some screws to get it out. This screw point is the end of a screw, but there's no end in there. First we're going to try a lubricant. We'll leave that soak for a few hours. Wire brush it a little. Let's hit it with a hammer. We do have some progress. After hitting it with the hammer, it now moves upside down. A screw ball just doesn't want to turn. Right, I've been soaking the wrench in some lemon juice, which might oxidize some of the rust. I believe that pin in there has fused with the adjuster there. It still hasn't made a difference. Yeah, the heat treatment didn't work. Well, there's obviously some way of getting that pin out. There are holes, 3 holes, and I think you need a special tool to unwind that, but I don't have. What we could do is make a groove whereby I could fit a screwdriver in. It does have a bit of a bump on it. Maybe we could try a hacksaw to start. We've made a rudimentary groove of sorts there. Now we can file it down further with this arrow-shaped nail file. So obviously the file has its limits here. So I've got this little, I think it's the end of a surveyor's compass. I'm going to punch holes in the groove here to make it deeper. We've been working at the coalface for half an hour now. We have a slight groove there, but it's not enough to catch a screwdriver. It's worn all my tools out. Obviously it's hardened steel or something. So as a last resort, I'm using a drill. I don't have a diamond drill bit, and it's going to ruin a wooden drill bit, but we might get some sort of hole. Well, I made a blind bit of difference. Well, I could obviously spend the next 12 hours filing down a hole into this and trying to remove that nut. I don't have the stamina to do that, so that's a loss for this one to the recycling.